excited here. I don't know. Quit laughing, Lucille. Oh, man. This week I went to the doctor about foot's getting better. Not healed yet, but it's getting better. And doctor told me, Mike, if you get an automatic where you're not using that foot on the clutch, I don't know if it ain't wrong. He said, we'll talk about you going back to work. I got to thinking about that, because when I get an automatic, Freddie probably knows what I'm talking about. There's a camera inside that's looking at me. It's watching me. And it's watching to make sure I look in my mirrors and I'm not distracted by anything. And I'm not on the phone and all those things. And that kind of scares me because I know how I am. Rebecca knows how I am. I get distracted pretty easy. And I got to thinking about that. Several years ago, I was driving down to Atlanta. Before you get to what's that lake? What's that lake down there? Altoona Lake. Before you get there, the traffic is pretty calm. I mean, unless there's a wreck or something. But when you get to Altoona, it backs up. I don't know why, but it backs up. Then when you get past the next exit, it kind of thins out again. But I was going out there one morning and I was eating breakfast while I drove. I very rarely ever stop and eat. That's a habit I picked up years ago working with Coca-Cola. But I'm driving down the road and I got some tater tots in my bag, right in the top. It's got a zipper, so I unzip it, stick it in the back. It's like a chip holder, okay? And I got my tater tots there. I got my biscuit on my knee, and I got my drink in my hand, and I'm driving down the road, and I've got a straight shift, so I get to Altoona, and I'm having to shift gears while I got a biscuit on my knee, a drink in my hand, tater tots in my bag, and all of a sudden traffic comes to a complete stop in front of me. Guess what happens? Everything goes forward. Now, being a truck driver with many years' experience, I should say, okay, I can pick the biscuit up. I can pick the tater tots up. No. I reach for the tater tots. The biscuit falls. I reach for the biscuit. My drink spills. I am completely distracted. And if I were driving a new truck, that my truck would go beep, 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 beep. And that's how we live our lives most of the time. When we should be focused on the most important thing in our life, which is Jesus, we're focused on tater tots, biscuits, drink. We're completely distracted by the world. We're completely oblivious to what Jesus was doing in my life today. Because I was listening to a wonderful message on my headset. And I completely lost track of Jesus at the moment. Because that message was speaking to me, to my heart. That message was bringing me what I needed in the moment. And I swear to you today that I believe the devil put that car in front of me. I believe that he put that car in front of me to get me off track. And believe it or not, no matter what we do, no matter what our plans are for in the morning, Jesus has a plan. And he's got a plan for you and for the person that you're coming in contact with. He's got a plan for them. And you know who else got a plan for you? The devil. The devil and his minions have a plan to distract us. Now, the scripture I got today is Luke 8, and it's a story you're going to recognize. But I want you to notice how distracting it was for those people involved. Luke 8:22 says, and on that day, Jesus said to his disciples, let's cross over to the other side of the lake. So they got into the boat and they started out, and as they were sailing across, Jesus settled down and he took a nap. Sounds like my kind of boat ride. Last time I went on a boat out in the see, I kind of, well, anyway, the birds were happy, and the fish were happy. The boat was there came a storm off the boat, but soon a fierce storm came down to the lake. The boat was filling up with water, and they were in real danger. And the disciples went and they woke Jesus up, shouting, Master, Master, we're going to drown. Don't you care? Don't you care? Is that what we say to Jesus when things don't happen the way we want them? Don't you care? Did you not notice that I had to go to the doctor yesterday? Did you not notice that my car's not running right? Did you not notice that the faucet won't quit drip, drip, drip? Somehow we take our lack of maintenance as a sign from God that He's not interested in us. And they said, do you not care that we drown? And when Jesus woke up, He rebuked the wind and the raging waves. That's an interesting word, rebuke. And a lot of us don't know the full impact of rebuke. And I could go around the room and ask every single person here, give me a definition for rebuke. Give me a definition for rebuke. Lucille, what's your definition for rebuke?
Stop something.
Stop something. Jim?
Reject.
Anybody else? Evan?
Push
What?
it away.
Huh?
Push it away.
Push it away? Okay. You know what the Greek word rebuke means? Stop it! Quit it! Now! But Jesus didn't have to scream, did he? All he did was stop it. And what happened? It stopped. The most important thing in their life, the most devastating thing that they were experiencing in their life was happening right before them, and all he said was stop it. Cut it out. I'm done with the wind. I'm done with the waves. Y'all keeping me from my nap. The nap was more important than the storm. The nap was more important than the storm. Then he asked them, said, where was your faith? Let me tell you something. They had heard and seen God made flesh. They had seen the miracles. They had seen what Jesus could do. And yet they were afraid that the boat wouldn't make it to the other side. And we experience storms just like they did. We experience times in our life where we're like, where is Jesus? What's going on? Why am I where I am? Is he asleep? Does he not care? I know one truth. When Jesus said, let's get this boat and go to the other side, I know one thing for sure. It didn't matter what was in between point A and point B. It was going to get to point B. It was going to get to point B because he said so. The master of the universe, the creator of everything, said, let's go to the other side. And they were scared because he took a nap. Who is this man? They said, who gives commands even to the wind and the waves. With what we know and believe about Jesus, what are the chances that any one of the disciples were not going to make it to the other side? With what we know and believe about Jesus, what's the chances that you're not going to end up right where God wants you to be? I was talking to a friend of mine a few months ago, and he was very concerned. You know, he said, he got a bad diagnosis. He said, I'm scared to die. I'm scared to die. I said, well, what's the doctor say? And he told me what the doctor said. You know, he's got the litany of possibilities. If this happens, then that can happen. And then this could happen. And if you did this, then, you know. And he went on and on and on and on. And I said, what's God say? He said, have you not prayed about it? Have you not asked God where He's leading you? We watched a movie last night, I Still Believe. And one of the things the girl that passed away said in the movie, she said if just one life is changed, just one, because of what I'm going through, then I followed the will of God. Now, I paraphrase that quite a bit. I probably butchered it a little bit, but that's what she was saying. You know, God never promised us smooth sailing, just a flat looking glass sea. Never a storm, never a rainstorm, never a mudslide, never anything like that. He never promised us that. He said it rains on the righteous and the unrighteous. We live in a world that's been corrupted by sin. Guess what? We're going to take some dings. We're going to come across times in our life where we're like, how is this fair? How could this possibly be fair? By the way, she asks the same question. And her husband, Jeremy Camp, beautiful story. If you ever get a chance to watch it, watch it. He prayed over and over and over for her healing. He would get up at concerts and he would ask the people in the audience to pray for her healing. And in the last moments of her life, she woke up. I'm healed. I don't hurt anymore. I don't hurt. I believe I'm healed. She passed on. She was healed, just not in the way Jeremy wanted to be healed. God has a plan for our lives. And when we keep Him in the middle, not on the outside, not on the peripheral, not hidden away in some closet, we understand the plan a little bit better. When we go to Him and say, look, I don't understand, but I'm going to trust you anyway. When we go to Him and say, I can't see what the plan is, Jesus, but I trust you anyway. Is it possible that in the middle of our storms that we forget who Jesus actually is? Not just some Bible school story, not just some song that we've heard, but a real, live, honest to goodness man who lived on this earth who just happened to be God. What did He say? I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you because you're mine. He said, if you love me, you'll follow my commandments. And my Father will love you. And it also says that when the Holy Spirit lives within us, if we follow His commandments, that He and the Father will come and make His home with us. We just have to trust Him. We can't trust Jesus if He's not in the middle of our life. So my question today for you is He importantly? Is He in the middle? Is He where He wants to be? Not where you want Him to be, because a lot of times we prefer Jesus at arm's length. We prefer Jesus a little bit further away than He is. Trouble is, we keep moving away. Jesus stays where He's at. He won't impose on us. He won't push us to Him. Matthew 16:13 says, and when Jesus came into the region of Caesarea Philippi, He asked His disciples, who do men say that I am, the Son of Man? Do they said, some say that you're John the Baptist. Well, that's stupid, because John the Baptist baptized Jesus, so they couldn't be the same person. But some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, some say Jeremiah, and some others say the prophets. But Jesus said to them, but who do you say that I am? And Simon Peter answered, and he said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. But Jesus answered and said to him, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah. That just means Simon, son of Jonah. For flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. Now, to understand the impact of these verses, you've got to understand where Jesus and the disciples were. This is a depiction of Caesarea Philippi back in the days of Jesus. Caesarea Philippi was a city that Philip, the Tetrarch, one of Herod the Great's sons, had decided to build for Caesar, try to get on his good side. Well, one of the things that he did, instead of making palaces and all of this, he built a city that was dedicated to the gods, little g's. Okay, not to Jehovah, not to Yahweh, but to the gods. And one of the main gods that was there was named Pan. And Pan was the god of fertility. It's funny how all their gods are gods of fertility and gods of mixture and gods of. But Pan lived. You'll switch over to the. They said that Pan lived in that cave, and that cave was called the gates of hell. And the water that was in that cave came up out of the earth, not parallel but vertically. And they have tried for years to find out where the bottom of that is, and they really haven't found the bottom of it. Might go to hell, I don't know. But that river that flows out of there, that's where a majority of the water that flows through Israel in the River Jordan comes out of that cave. And it's called the gates of hell. And Jesus said that the gates of hell will not prevail against him. In other words, the water that comes out of the gates of hell is watering the land of Israel. The Sea of Galilee, the water that comes out of that cave, has marine life all in the Sea of Galilee. You see, when Jesus and God decided to do something, they took something that the pagans would take and call it their God and make fun of it. I don't know if you know this, but all of the 10 plagues of Egypt were direct assaults on the gods of Egypt. And when the children of Israel put God in the middle, they came out of Egypt. Because the gods of Egypt were humiliated, defeated. I'm going to have to stop right there. I just got 2 pages. This series may take longer than I thought. But it makes me ask myself to evaluate my relationship with Jesus. I don't know. Is Jesus truly in the middle of my life? Is he the most important thing in my life? I mean, if I sat here this morning in front of you guys, I said, oh yeah. Oh yeah. But what about the baggage you don't see? What about the things that the people around you are struggling with? Is Jesus really in the middle? Is he really where he wants to be in your life? Because I know, a lot of us are happy with Jesus when we have him where we want him to be. Or do you want a vibrant relationship? It not only allows you to pour your heart out with your desires and your needs, but that you can sit and listen. And that cake I talked about earlier, where you can take that lid off and keep it off. Where you can enjoy the richness and the fullness of what God intended for our relationship to be. And stop just taking a little taste and then putting it back up on the shelf. When we experience the fullness of God, we'll never want to come back. But that's a decision that each and every one of us has to make every single day. Where do I want to be when Jesus calls?